If your bass lines suck and you don't want them to suck anymore, I'll be showing you 5 tricks that I've used in all of the productions that I've made, from bigger artists to smaller ones, to my own instrumental tracks, which have made over 1 million streams across multiple platforms. So let's get right into it. First, I'll be starting with some information about what the function of the bass actually is, and then I'll be getting into the 5 steps that will help you make groovy ass bass lines. So the bass has a fundamental function in the harmonics of any chord that you're hearing. It can literally determine the chord that you're actually hearing. Let me show you an example. As you can see here, I'm playing an F major. So if I play the F note in the bass, it will be an F major. If I play a D in the bass, it's not going to be an F major anymore, it will be a D minor 7, because you're actually now playing a D minor with the 7 on top. So the bass can actually change what you're hearing. What you also can do is play, for example, the G in the bass, and then you'll be hearing a G sus. Cool, so now that you know what the function of a bass actually is, let's get into the 5 tricks that I'll be showing you right here. I have a drum loop from my drum pack groove tapes and a chord progression, and we'll be starting with the most basic version of a bass line and then adding the tips that I have for you that will make the bass line more interesting and groovy. Cool, so this is what the progression and the drums sound like. Nice. So the most basic form of a bass line right here would be to just play the bass notes, so the root notes of the chord, and just let it play out. We can actually take the root note from the chord progression right here and just copy it here into the bass, and that will sound like this. So the first trick is adding octaves. It's kind of a basic one, but it will definitely help your bass line sound more interesting, or, you know, just have some variation in it. So obviously you can go 1 octave higher. Let's say we add this note right here, and we go 1 octave higher. Maybe let's move it a bit to the right. Let's say right here. Cool, we can do the same right here. We can also change the octave, you know, in the whole complete note. So maybe you want to put this one up or this one. Now, I'm just going to leave it like this. Obviously, you can play with this. You know, moving the octave is the safest way to change your bass line, because it's literally the same note. So it won't really change the harmonics of your chords. One other thing that you can do is adding the 5th. Now, the 5th is also pretty safe because it doesn't really determine if your bass is major or minor. The 5th is basically 7 half steps above your root note. So if I take this note right here and move it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool, so now you can really play with this. Usually what I like to do is go from the octave higher, move down to the 5th, and then kind of move down. We can do the same right here. Cool, now we're already adding some movement. Now the third tip is one that I find really interesting, which is kind of finding different ways to lead from one note to the next one. And you're gonna wanna do this in the key of the song. If you know what scale you're in this case it's A minor, you can literally just choose the scale right here and then press fold, and you're only gonna have the notes that are in the scale. Me personally, I prefer to do it like this. So now we want to move from one note to the other one. So one way to do this is to do it chromatically, which kind of goes outside of the key, but it's a really effective way to do it. So this would be an example. So I'm trying to go to D here, and I'm going to go from C to C sharp to D. So this is something you can do. Another way to lead to a chord is, let me see where we can do it. Here we're leading to this one with this. Here we're going like this. And let's say maybe you want to go from the octave higher of the D right now. We want to go to the E. Let's see what we can do. Maybe something like... And now I don't even know how this is going to sound, but I'm just going to try with the notes in the keys, listen to it, and then see what I want to do. Yeah, it's actually okay. What we could do is go from this final note, E, move to the F, which is only a half step. So how can we do that? Maybe we can take the bass up to the A. No, actually, let's do the fifth. Then maybe go back to the root, one step above the next one. Cool, this works, I like it. Now, obviously there's many ways to do it. You can really play around with it. Just make sure that you think of it as a way to get to the next note, because you want to keep the function of the bass line, which is determining the root note of the chords. Now, the next thing is adding melodies. And you can literally add melodies to your bass line, which will make them very interesting, but there is a danger of overdoing it. So we want to make sure that we keep the root notes where they are, and that we just add some interesting melodies without taking away too much of the function of the bass. So let's see what we can do right here. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe we can do dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. Let's move this to the left. Obviously, this all goes hand in hand, so you know, what we've been doing with leading to one note to the other is adding melodies, but you know, it's just to show you that you can be more creative. You can really listen to your inner ear and add these little things so that, you know, you can make it more interesting. Now, the last trick, which is number 5, is adding rhythm. And obviously the bass also plays a very big role in the rhythm section of your tracks. So yeah, you want to add some rhythm, make it more groovy, and I'll be getting into it right now. So right here we have this long note. We could make it a bit more rhythmic. One thing that often works is just going on the floor, basically like 1, 2, 3. Me, I would hear something like dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I would go with the kick, so I'll be following the kick. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, ba, ba, ba. Cool, so also shortening the length of a note can really add a lot of rhythm. Dun, dun. Dun. Shorten it here as well. Cool. So now we have a bass line that is a lot more interesting rhythmically. Now, one last bonus tip is going to be adding some groove to it. Right now, everything is quantized, so it sounds very robotic. So we want to add some groove, and the best way to do it is by moving certain notes a bit more to the right, so that it kind of follows the whole beat and creates more movement. So often what I'll do is to take all the notes that are in between the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4, and move them a bit to the right. So let's say this one, we're going to move a bit Same with this one and this one. Let's do the same right here. Now here we can do the same. Here we also have 8th note or 16th note. So we can take all the ones that are in between the 8th notes, move them to the right as well. And here also the length of the note is going to really change the feel of it. So if I shorten these ones in between, so this is totally different than this. Maybe I'm going to try to find something in between, or actually do these ones a bit shorter. Kind of like this. Maybe let's keep this one long and make this. Nope, it's not it. Yeah, like this. Something in between. Let's do the same here. If you want to keep this exact same rhythm, you can literally just copy these two and move them where these are. There you go. If we want to add even more groove, we can take everything and move everything a bit even more to the right. You want to do it by taste, you want to listen to it and see how far you can go, you want to go. Alright, so this was the video. I hope you learned something and I hope that you can implement these steps into your next beat and make the best bass line you've ever made. If you want to get the drums that I'm using right here, I have the drum pack below. And if you want to watch a video that is about adding more groove to your drums, I have a video right here. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.